because you have mentioned this several times, how often do you plan on seeing your son in a month?
I'm already on calendar on being there the next Tuesday. I'm already there.
See, that's a problem.
No, it's not. Why is that a problem?
I don't want to be on campus and be walking across campus and see my father.
Then you're screwed. I've been following several online conversations with other parents who are in the same position we are, which is getting ready to send their children, drop them off to college. And the question was, are you ready for all the things that happen when it comes to drop off?
I'm close to ready. Like, there are some things that are on the list of, these are the things that you need to get your kid before they move in. So work has got me at a point where I'm not quite, like, I haven't gotten all the things that they need yet, but I'm close to it. So I will be ready by the day before he moves in.
That question comes in, there's a couple parts to that.
Okay.
And so there's two kinds of readiness.
Physical ready and then the emotional ready. Okay. So, yes. Physically, I'm going to be ready the day before he moves in.
And so we've got a list. Matter of fact, the list is right next to you.
The list is right next to me.
Let me see that list. This list is the what your kid is supposed to bring, and this is for North Carolina A&T.
Yeah.
And there's a series of cross-outs and highlights and notes in the column.
Yes.
So according to what I'm seeing, that every item is not either highlighted or crossed out. We are not ready, but we will be.
I would say the things that are highlighted, I know are mine, and they're not crossed off yet. But like some of them are in like my shopping cart right now. It will be done by the time.
Right. Good.
Leaves.
Okay. So that's the physical readiness.
That's the easy part. Yeah.
And then there's the thought process, emotional readiness.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can even prepare.
I'm totally ready for him to, move on to college. I'm not like trying to kick him out at times during the year. I am.
You are.
But like right now, I'm cool. I'm ready for him to move on to the next phase in his life. I'm excited for that. I think we're both excited for that. And so emotionally, I'm ready to drop him off, move him in, do all the things. And then, just see him sitting in his dorm room bed. He's already communicating with his roommate. So that's cool. I'm ready for him to do all the things that we've been, preparing them for and talking to them about for years. So
the one question we have that I've seen people ask is, how long should you stay when you drop your kids off? And I've seen answers that range from, drop and go, like drop, set up and go, to I'm staying all week. So where do you lie in that?
No, I'm definitely not staying all week. I want to stay a couple days just to. Here's the difference. We have been going to A&T. We've probably been 3 or 4 times for a basketball game. One of our friends went to the school, so show him around, show him to the classroom. He's been to the student center, so he's been a couple times. So I kind of feel like it's different. We don't need to go and stay. He's aware of the campus. He hasn't been everywhere, but to answer your question, how long we'll be there? Probably 3 days. Just, go down, move him in, acclimate him for like a day, maybe half a day, and then we're out. We're an hour away. So right. It's not like we're dropping him off across the country.
Yeah. So that's completely different from both my experience.
Yeah.
And from your experience.
And mine, yeah.
But we've also done this before.
Yeah.
With the older sister. So my drop-off experience was parents drove down. We had a SUV, so all my stuff fit in the back. We drove down. They came up and helped me set up the room. Of course, mom was, I could be a bit of a clean freak as well. So we were both kind of scrubbing and making sure every surface. I have this thing where I want my DNA to be the first thing that touches the surface. I don't want any residual DNA. So we clean every surface, put out, it was crazy. Shelf paper and all types of stuff was going down. It was nuts. But that was done in a couple hours. We might have went and got something to eat, and then they left. Right? So you came from across the country. You came from California all the way over to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And so talk about that.
I flew over, I was coming from California, so took the red eye, got there in the morning. My coach picked me up, and then we moved into my dorm, but my parents were coming like a week later. I needed to go through, when you go to, I was on the volleyball team, you have to get there early before everybody else does. You've got to go through the whole health screening and all of that. And I wanted to go through it with the team, so I had to get there early. So it was different. It was a different move-in process. It wasn't like I didn't have most of my clothes. I just had a week's worth of clothes.
What was the conversation like when you guys were deciding to move in that fashion? So you knew you had, no matter when you had to be there, you had to be there. What was the conversation in the house as to we should either go all together or we should follow after?
I just remember it was like last minute, and I needed to get there because the team was like doing it next week. So, it wasn't too much of a discussion. I had to go. So that's what that was like for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember noticing, it was noticeable to me that other people's parents were still around after mine weren't. The majority of guys in my dorm, which is an all-male freshman dorm at Howard, we were just there. It was just us. And then you would go because they had the freshman week stuff. They had a schedule for us to do social things. And you would notice, it'd be noticeable when somebody else's parents were still there. We're like, why is your mom at the ice cream social? This is ridiculous. So there's pros and cons to that, because also, like, my experience when I got dropped off, the thing that still sticks with me is that my room didn't have a key. They had to let me in. The janitor or whatever let me in and were like, oh, we'll get you a key. We can't find the key. So there was a party that night. And so the whole dorm emptied out to go off to this party, and I'm stuck because my room door's unlocked. And so that sucked.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm stuck in the room. It's empty ass dorm. I'm in town by myself. Parents are gone. So then I got my key the next day and was integrated and moving with everybody else. But it definitely was a thing where I noticed when somebody would walk up and then their parents would be with them, and we're like on day 3 of being alone on this campus. So I don't know how that feels. What I want to talk about is how we did it last time, because you flew down to move Demi into University of Tampa, and you stayed a few days. So how did that feel?
That was, obviously that was the first time. She flew in with I want to say 6 bags, but it was all her stuff. But that was just clothes because we were coming in from out of town, right? So we have her clothes, and then of course we go to Target and get all the things.
So it was you
this list of things,
and your very good friend Keisha, who's also a mom.
Keisha and I we got all the things from Target and then moved her in. We stayed 3 days, and it wasn't like we were hanging around campus or hanging around her with other kids. It was more so we just want to make sure that we go to the bookstore, we help you get your books and any paraphernalia you want, and then there were things that she needed to do. I remember her specifically having her go to this lunch line. It was really long, and she wanted us to come with her, and we were like, nope, it's time for you to be by yourself, so you got to go do that. We'll be around. The most important thing was we moved her in and got her clothes in, and we would constantly tell her, touch your keys, touch your ID. Because, when you're living by yourself, in your mind, your parents are always home. If I can't get in, my parents will let me in. Well, in your room, there's nobody else in your room but you. So it was a constant touch your keys, touch your ID, because these are the 2 things you can't be without.
Did she had a single
She locked herself out once. Well, when she moved in, her roommate wasn't there. She was by herself for a couple days before she got a roommate. But she locked herself out once, but then she got used to touch your keys, touch your ID. So in my mind, when we because Mike is who he is, he's very forgetful, we're going to have to tell him many, many times, touch your key, touch your phone, touch your ID.
Here's where I think the sweet spot is. For me, you have to cut the cord. This is the next birth. You've birthed him. Now we're birthing him again. Right? He's off. However, I still want to be in town. So for me, we go to the town where he is. We do the initial setup. we're accessible. Like we do the things, we go to the bookstore, we do all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very line averse. So if there's a line at the bookstore, I will come back.
Right.
When there's not a line at the bookstore, or we'll buy it online or whatever. And then we'll even go out, you know, off campus a little bit, maybe grab something to eat or something like that, or on campus and grab something to eat, which is all good. And I'm taking COVID completely out of this conversation, because now I'm like, wait, am I going to be in open spaces with people in cafeterias and stuff? I have to think about that. But my point is, drop them off, but still be in town a couple days, and that really works out for larger towns. Like, you know, if you're going to DC, you damn near make it a family vacation. You know, hey, we're in town, we're in a mall or whatever, and you're over at school. Give us a call when you free up, and then we can meet up or whatever. I don't want to be in the space where the other students are.
I don't either.
It's a thing where it's like, you've got to go. You should feel great about going.
Yeah.
If you don't, let's talk about that. But, you know, these times where you're supposed to be somewhere, unless it's a family event, unless it's like, hey, here's the parents and kids event, then go do that.
Right.
And if you want to reach back out, we're in town for a couple of days. We might even be touring the campus ourselves. And, you know, however that works out, that's my ideal. That's my ideal situation. How do you feel about that?
I agree. I think that you drop him off, you move him in, and then, you know, touch your keys, touch your ID, touch your phone. And then I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be hanging around. It's not my time anymore. It's your time. Go have a great time. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. You know, even though we're going to be there 3 days, I'm not trying to be around him on campus for 3 days. A day, possibly a day and a half. Anything more than that, now I'm just hanging on too long. You got to go.
Well, I'm not even going to hang on. And it's funny because times have changed so much. Once again, the impact of the internet. Well, you can ask me questions. You could look at my face and ask me questions. And I don't have to be standing right there.
Right.
And I definitely don't have to stand in line with you.
Oh,
you can do that yourself.
Yeah, that's you. We have enjoyed that experience. Now it is your turn. I am not standing in line for you at all.
Right. If you got to stand in line somewhere, it's because we have dropped the ball somewhere in advance. But if there's a line to be stood in, stand in it, and give me a call when you're right before, or maybe I'll come over there and meet you at the front of the line when it's time.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, because you have mentioned this several times, how often do you plan on seeing your son in a month? Let's say within 30 days.
I'm already on calendar on being there the next Tuesday. I'm already there.
See, that's a problem.
No, it's not. Why is that a problem?
I don't want to be on campus and be walking across campus and see my father.
Then you're screwed.
I don't.
Because that's who I am. I know what you're going to do. I'm not going to be like, hey, Michael. I'm not going to holler at you. I could be on campus and you don't even know it.
But see, the problem is, if you see him, let's say he's doing something crazy. If you see him, you're either going to FaceTime him or you're going to text him something like, I see you wearing them whatever pants. I don't even know why you wearing them red shoes with them pants. And you're like, what? Why?
It's straight from Jason Bourne. Get some sleep, Pam. You look tired.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to be on campus. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to be on campus. You have unleashed me onto yet another college culture. I'm going to be there, but it doesn't mean I have to see you. What I'm going to be doing is integrating with the departments. I'm going to integrate with the administration. I'm going to look for opportunities to serve the university, because you have to. That's what good alumni stuff is about. And I'm actually a huge benefit because now I'm seeing your alma mater as our alma mater. So I'm going to serve Howard and I'm going to serve A&T unless you decide you're out of there for some reason. But that's the deal. They're going to know me. That doesn't mean that you have to see me. So yes, I'm going next Tuesday after we drop him off, and I'm catching up with Dwayne, and he and I are going to go kick it and probably get breakfast.
We're dropping him off on Saturday. You're going to be there on Tuesday.
But I'm going to get breakfast with Dwayne, who also was an A&T alumni. We go there now. Here's the thing. I've been to A&T 3-4 times this year already, and Michael hasn't been set foot on the campus. So I'm there often now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for me, I don't plan on seeing him. I'm okay with seeing him like once before Thanksgiving. Like, I honestly just want him to have his adult space without feeling like, I'm looking over his shoulder because his parents might be on campus.
You don't have to look over your shoulder with me.
I will not be there.
Okay. Next, in the piece I want to touch on, and this is key before we shut it down, is ongoing support.
Okay.
Right? So ongoing support is a big deal, and it's kind of, we've already kind of touched the base with it. But when Demi was in Tampa, we had the judo Olympian, the ball of muscle, Dr. Roddy Ferguson in town.
Yeah.
And even better than just having him in town was when she got a job at the place where she got a job at, they had office space, and he had an office there. Mm-hmm. So periodically, he would just be at his office and see Demi walking across. And he would either just acknowledge her or don't. But he was there.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. When I was an undergrad, my cousin Yasim, he was a year behind me, senior in high school. So Uncle Juwan would come down often, maybe once a month. And he would come pick me up and pick Yasim up when we go to dinner. And so that ongoing type of support is something that's like seeded into my experience as having somebody who comes into town, checks on you, either comes into your space or takes you out of your space to go somewhere else. And that's just part of my experience and my DNA at this point. So having Radi do that for Demi was key. And now, full circle, Keisha and Dwayne's son is a senior going to college in Charlotte this year. Our son is going to college in Greensboro this year. I already told Dwayne, we're going to be burning the road up. Either I'll be in Charlotte, you be in Greensboro. That's what it's going to be.
Yes, I totally see that happening with you guys.
Yes. So, am I ready for drop off? 100%.
I know you are.
It's gonna be nothing. And I'm not afraid to have a little emotional content. If it's there, I'm open to it. That's it.
I'm curious. Are you a little apprehensive about cutting the cord?
No. My whole point was 4 years in advance. I'm operating 4 years in advance at all time. I don't feed the boy. I don't wash his clothes. I don't do anything in his room except for yell at him if it smells. So I've cut the cord already. Now we've practiced the cord cutting lifestyle for 4 years now, and now you'll be elsewhere.
I don't know. I sense this need to grab on and hold.
No,
you're already planning on being on campus on Tuesday. We drop him off on Saturday.
Yeah. True indeed.
You meet with him a lot. I understand that, you kind of have to meet with him because if you don't, it won't happen. But at the same time, I feel like there's a whole lot of there wasn't a lot of interaction, and now there's a whole lot of interaction, and he's moving away, and you're planning on going back and going back and going back. And so in my mind, I'm like, are you a little apprehensive about cutting this cord, and you just don't want to, you can't articulate that?
I would if that were the case. What I think you're not seeing is I am seeing access. I'm seeing opportunity. Can I make a difference? Is there business to be done? And then also, while I'm there, I can take my son to lunch if he wants to go. And that's fine if he doesn't. So I'm ready. It's a big plus for me. Big bonus. Which one of us is going to cry?
You.
I don't think so. I'm not saying I won't, but I mean, for you saying I won't,
it's totally you.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I'm throwing up the deuces have a great time. You're going to have a great time.
We're going to follow up this conversation with some real-time feedback on that next time. All right. Pretty good.